Jamie Carr and Kera Ma, says punters. Into $2.70 and your clear-cut favourite. Holding twice as much as Jimmy Star, now is out to $3.30. Southport Tycoon, can he win with 58 kilos? Well, the market says no. We're soft out to 11 from 8.50. War Machine's right there. He's drawn a good gate, solid at $12. Out to 15, Climbing Star. Charmstone was spec'd early doors, nothing late on race day. Gentleman Roy can roll forward. Nothing for him at $26. And we've got a couple of roughies down the page there. Holding solid is Buffalo River at $35. But it's Karen Ma, the top three in the market, but it's all about Another Will. Talking about Jamie Carr and Karen Ma, they're our hot combo. Another Will coming up. And don't forget race 10, extra 2. They're 8% return on investment. So Another Will for the feature coming up is the hot combo. And don't forget, if you run second in the Sir Rupert Clarke, this is race 9. If you run second, you win in cash. First $20 staked, you win in cash if you run second. I know, sports bet. Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the 1-800 number or visit the website.
Star wide out. Stapati went to the front from Tamerlane, back to the inside, Another Will, and Jimmy Star late, Another Will, darts back on the inside at the 100. Jimmy Star's flashing, but Another Will's clear. A win that means so much. Another Will by a length and a quarter.
Now a $26 chance, but Another Will and Jimmy Star can hopefully fight out the other feature today. Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on screen or visit the website.
This mounting yard is brought to you by the McCafe Iced Coffee. Try it today.
First run in 1951, the 74th edition of the Sportsbet Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes, 1,400 metre handicap at Group 1 level, a $1 million prize pool. Last year, the 1st November edition, Magic Time defeating I Am Me, and straight ace of horse 1 is Southport Tycoon. Group 1 Manicato winner to sit alongside his Australian Guineas victory. Second up, he's been in Sydney since.
He just got too far back in the Golden Eagle from a wide draw, but only the winner ran a faster last 200. Firm ground suits. Look, he concedes weight and likely a start to a talented field, but he's got the class. I think he's one of the main hopes.
To his coat, this fellow, he's absolutely glowing in the skin. His fitness is spot on, which is what you'd expect for a grand final like this.
2 Private Eye Scratching has just contested the Hunter at Newcastle. 3 Tuvalu was third in this race behind Call Sign Mav and I Am Superman in September 2022. He's first up here. We've only seen him once in 2024 winning the Wangoom.
Yeah, so he's resuming off a trial and a jump out. Won the latest jump out over 1,000 metres easily. He is 4 from 8 first up and did win that Wangoom with 61.5. It's a tough ask this race first up. They're going to ride him quietly.
He's such a beautiful horse, this. He's got such a lovely, honest old face, and he's been such a good horse for Connections, a $2 million earner. I think the team have got him ticking along beautifully. It's a really nice return.
4 is Another Will, and Jamie Carr's 3 for 3 on him this preparation, 2 of them here.
Look, he lost all momentum in the straight before charging late to win last start, beating Jimmy Star. His only blemish, he went way too hard at 1,600 metres in the Toorak when he was expected to win as favourite. He maps for a great run, probably just in behind the speed. I think he deserves to be favourite.
He looks fantastic. He just keeps on being maintained to perfection, this horse. He's moving particularly well. He seems very nice and fresh within himself, but without wanting to overdo it from a parade point of view. I feel he's spot on.
5 Gentleman Roy brings strong Caulfield 1,400 metre credentials. Won the PB Lawrence, third in the Memsey.
Yeah, likely needed the run in the Moonga too, where he was wide without cover. The firmer surface helps. He'll be fitter. He drops in weight, and he might be the one that just gets control of the front. They're going back with Tuvalu, and Buffalo River doesn't have the early speed he used to.
He's such a lovely, consistent horse, this fellow. You'd love to own him. He just turns up and runs good races week in, week out. The team know how to train him. He's been beautifully maintained. Today's no different to how he's looked in this whole preparation. 6
Climbing Star looks poised third up off what she did in the Manicato and with a little gap between runs in the Sydney Stakes.
It was one of the fastest late there in the Sydney Stakes. Got a long way back. Can settle closer to 1,400, but the rise in distance has to be the query for me. Her best form's been up to 1,200 metres.
She's a lovely, tall, athletic type of mare, and she's been put here in really nice, even order. I think that there's no knock on the way that she's been presented, but there are others that I've put on top of her.
Damien Lane goes on the 7 Jimmy Star from the inside draw. Winner of the weekend hustler here at 1,400 on Guineas Day. And then second to Another Will as favourite at Flemington.
It was heavily back to beat Another Will last start. Maybe just too far back off a slow speed and had to do too much work in the mid stages. He drops in weight, meets Another Will a kilo and a half better off. Maybe doesn't have to get as far back and might be better suited back to Caulfield. Don't like barrier 1 for him though.
I think it's probably the best I've seen him, this bloke. He's absolutely spot on today. He's lovely and rich in his coat. He seems like he's on the job today. He wants to get out there and get on with things. I don't think the team could be any happier with the way that they've presented him.
Drop back in trip for the 8, Komochi from the Empire Rose.
Yeah, I think 1600 was a bridge too far there. Ran well on the Silver Eagle 2 back, suited back in distance, suited dropping in weight. Might need some luck to roll forward and slot in from the barrier.
Lovely mare, and it's a really nice even parade from her. They've sent her down here in great shape. I think that she's conserving her energy nicely. She's a great strong type. She looks like she's just nicely on her toes.
9, Buffalo River, second in the Moonga, 10th, 5th and 15th in the last 3, Rupert Clarke's.
Yeah, track and distance specialist that relished getting onto a softer track last start. Drops sharply in weight, might be the leader. He might have to really ramp things up in the mid stages, but I think the firmer track and rise in class are the obvious negatives.
He always looks well, this fellow. Today's no different. The team know how to get him here in great shape, and as you say, he does like the track, the distance. He's been a great horse for connections. Today's no different. He looks super.
Michael D, victorious last year on the mare Magic Time, rides the 10, Charmstone, third up for Price Kent.
She looks well placed here after a really good run, where it's a case to say that she should have maybe got the cash at Derby Day on the straight 1200 metre course. She was only second up off a long break. She's getting at the big odds here at $17. I think she'll run really well, just smothered up from that barrier, and look for her to be hitting the line strongly late.
Another really nice parade from this girl. She keeps on making nice steady improvement with her fitness, which was to be expected when she hadn't raced for nearly a year when she resumed this campaign. Just getting a little bit warm on the flank and between the back legs, but that's going to have no impact on her performance.
11, Chrysaor, a scratching. 12, Roll On High, resumed in the invitation. The race Magic Time came through last year.
Yeah, will be fitter second up, drops in weight. Has always looked a serious talent. I think 1400's her best distance, but would need to improve pretty sharply on the first up run, even if things were against her there.
This horse looks absolutely fantastic. She's got such a good, rich colour to her coat. She's done everything right from a parade point of view. Yes, you'd probably pick others on form ahead of her, but gee, she looks well.
13 is Run, Harry Run. There is Peter Moody discussing the chances of Roll On High with connections. Run, Harry Run. Blinkers first time for the winner of the Blue Sapphire this day last year.
Drops 8 kilos and gets Blinkers first time, rising sharply in class. Meets Another Will 4 kilos better for a 2.2 length defeat 2 starts ago, but I think that margin flattered Harry that day.
Yeah, really nice parade from this fellow. He's a good athletic type. He's spot on with his fitness, which is what you'd expect for this time of year, and a horse that's deep into his preparation. He definitely doesn't look like an outsider. He looks as competitive as every other horse in this mounting yard here.
14, Stapati is fourth up, was behind Another Will and Jimmy Star at Flemington, won a Guineas Prelude here as a 3-year-old.
Yeah, and he beat Southport Tycoon that day. He's improved with racing this preparation and might be ready to peak now fourth up. Look, he was beaten fair and square by Another Will last start, who probably had the inferior run in transit, but he did hit the strong northerly wind first and just weakened late there.
Yeah, I think he's made really nice, steady improvement every single start this preparation. I think this is the best that I've definitely seen him. He's at peak fitness now. His coat's got a lovely, rich colour to it. He looks like he's nice and switched on, knows his job, and he's ready to rock and roll. So I think that it's a really good trend in the right direction for him.
Next of the Maroney-Thompson runners, the 15, War Machine, returns from the Golden Eagle, where he finished in front of Southport Tycoon.
He looks well placed from an inside draw with no weight on his back here. He's had a really good preparation. First up behind Barrackeel was solid. Then 2 starts back, he wasn't beaten all that far in the Silver Eagle, and he more than held his own behind Lake Forest and Co. in the $10 million Golden Eagle. From that draw, he gets a very economical run. He's maybe vulnerable late to the big finishes of a horse like Another Will or Jimmy Star, but I think he's going to be in the race for a long way.
The team have got him here in fantastic shape. You can see really good definition over his rib cage there, just with the saddle blanket turned up a little bit. He's on his toes just nicely. I think that that's a sign of a horse that's feeling really fresh and well within himself. He's light on his feet, seems like he's in top order.
Melbourne Cup winning jockey Robbie Dolan returns to town to ride the 16 Bitter Creek. He won the Red Anchor 2-back. We saw Pisces emerge to win the Blue Sapphire earlier today.
Yeah, so that form got a boost, and he wasn't disgraced in a high rating Coolmore last start and dropped 7 kilos into a handicap here. Has run well behind Broadsiding at 1600, so I doubt 1400 with a lightweight should be too much of an issue for him.
No, he looks primed for this too, and he's feeling really well, just having a nice little dance as he's about to head out to the track. He's lovely and light on his feet. He's a great athletic type, this fellow. I'm quite a fan of his. I liked him at Moonee Valley recently and one to follow all the way through, but the team have done their bit. They've presented him in really nice, healthy order again today.
We saw Testarossa win a September edition of this race a quarter of a century ago as a 3-year-old. So big shoes to fill for Bitter Creek. Field heading towards the 1400 metre start for the Sportsbet. So Rupert Clarke Stakes, magic time last year, becoming the 13th mare to win the race. Call sign Mav, Sierra Sue, Behemoth and Be Good to Your Mother, the most recent of those to win September editions of the race. Amy, your pick of the yard for our final Group 1 in Victoria for 2024.
Well, you know I'm Another Wheel's world's biggest fan, so I'm sticking solid with him again here today. I thought that he presented in beautiful order. It's been a really nice job of mine to be able to watch him progress every single start. I think that he looks better and better every time. In saying that, I think that the Kiramar team have got all their horses looking fantastic, and I do think Jimmy Star is the best that I've seen him look this whole preparation as well. But I love Another Wheel. It would be a fairy tale story. I think he can do it. I'm with him here.
Okay, $2.70 is your favourite. Another Wheel, Jimmy Star, once again continuing to dominate the turnover. But it's Another Wheel who has had the avalanche of money on race day and a liability in the book. So here we go. $2.70 you're playing with now. Jimmy Star trims back up. Did sneak out to $3.30 at one stage today. Back into $3.10. Now, what else has been specced down the page for your multiples here, punters? Come on. Not much at all. I can't really give you any mail whatsoever. Buffalo River, nothing for him. Roll on High, nothing as a roughie there. And Komochi, I thought was a great chance at a price. The Tricky Gate out to $26. Who do you like, 4 or 7? That's where the money is with Sportsbet, and it's about Another Wheel if I've got to put one on top. Race 9, number 4. Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the 1-800 number or visit the helpline.
Glenn Thompson, you've had a busy half an hour saddling up 3 runners. Let's start with Buffalo River. How is the old boy?
Yeah, he's really well. He seemed to be back to near his best last start, and hopefully he can do something similar today.
Run Harry Run, I thought looked super in the yard. How's he been progressing at home?
Really well. His first 2 runs back from a spell were great. He wasn't beat too far by the 2 favourites today, so he likes Caulfield. Blinkers on today. Hopefully he can find out a couple of lengths and put him right into the race.
Your third runner for the team, War Machine, he's turning into a really nice record, being lightly raced, 8 starts, 3 wins. He's doing everything right at this early stage in his career.
Yeah, really nice horse. We took him to Sydney and sort of aimed high with him, and he seemed to measure up. Wasn't beaten too far up there. He's a horse on the way up. Obviously needs to find a couple of lengths again today to be winning, but we think he's capable.
The $1 million question, who's on top out of your 3?
Probably tough to split War Machine and Run Harry Run. They're 2 horses on the way up, and either of them can improve.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
3 for Glenn Thompson and Mike Moroney, 3 for Kieran Murray as they look to make a clean sweep of the final 2 Group 1s of 2024 in Victoria in the Rupert Clarke. Kieran, appreciate your time. We'll work through them in racebook order and start with Southport Tycoon, who gets back onto a good deck. And this way going.
Yeah, well, you know, he gets the weight, but he's probably the class runner of the field. You know, he's a Guineas Manicato winner. Can't fold him since he's come back to Victoria. Track distance. The only negative is the gate, but you know, Mark's just got a knack of that patience about him, and wrap that he's back on, and yeah, I think he's got a super chance.
And then Another Wheel and Jimmy Star emerging from the 1-2 finish on Derby Day. How do you assess both chances?
Well, Jimmy meets him a little bit better off at the weights. But as I said, leading into that race, there was nothing between them. They've got a very similar record, and I still don't think there's much between them at all. It's probably just who gets the smoother run in transit and gets to build when they want to build that momentum.
Does, on paper at least, Another Wheel have the advantage with 5 as opposed to Jimmy Star from gate 1?
Well, you could probably say similar thing last start, like Another Wheel needed to get out, got the break, ended up with a better run. So if Jimmy gets the break when he wants it, 53, he's going to be very hard to beat. Another Wheel, you can't really fold him either. He's a big, strong horse, loves Caulfield, great record, and he's a big horse, so I don't think the weight will worry him.
Good luck with all 3.
Cheers.
Horses are moving into the barriers, so Kieran Maher's got a stranglehold on this race. According to the betting, it's going to be another Will Ben that starts a clear favourite.
Yeah, market loves him. They didn't during the week. It was Jimmy Star who was a better backed initially, but I'm not surprised the market's come for another Will off his last start performance. Speed's going to be interesting. They've announced a change of tactics. Tuvalu, he's going back. So Buffalo River will try and eventually work to the front. Gentleman Roy will be there. Maybe Komochi pressing forward as well.
They're almost loaded for the final Group 1 in Victoria of 2024. It's the Sportsbet Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes.
For Kieran Maher, who has a strong hand. Here's another Will. Jamie Carr aboards. Stapati is about to come forward, has been progressing nicely after a setback. And Stapati currently 31 on VOP and $25 on the totes. So they move up well for the 74th running of this time-honoured race. The Sir Rupert Clarke, Komochi about to load. Here's going into the stalls, Climbing Star, Tuvalu and also Stapati, the final two. Here is Stapati with Daniel Moore. Won the race some 3 years ago with Sierra Sue, Daniel. Stapati goes in and Tuvalu to sit back with cover if circumstances permit was the tactics change attached to this one with Ethan Brown, already a Group 1 winner on the day. Field is set for Sir Rupert Clarke. Stand by and away they go. Pretty good line. Roll on High goes back to the end with Tuvalu and Southport Tycoon. Run Harry Run, fired out, is one of the initial leaders. Has its bib in front in the opening stages from War Machine. Charmstone behind those horses. Gentleman Roy is forcing up, and then came another Will outside of Jimmy Star, the fence. A length and a half away, Climbing Star. And there's old Buffalo River now surging around the outside as he likes to do. So there's going to be no peace. Over racing Stapati midfield. 2 lengths Komochi, Bitter Creek, Southport Tycoon, Roll on High and Tuvalu. Run Harry Run is the leader. 800 metres to go from Gentleman Roy, who's working up around the outside with Buffalo River. War Machine behind those leaders. A length away, Jimmy Star in 5th place. Then came another Will. Next to Party and Charmstone from Climbing Star. 2 lengths Komochi, Bitter Creek and well back Southport Tycoon, Tuvalu and Roll on High. It's Run Harry Run before the corner at the 400 metres by a length to War Machine, who's trying to grind it out. Jimmy Star needs a run badly behind those horses. Then came Gentleman Roy. Charmstone's run up behind them. Another Will is coming on, and they were followed next in the field by Komochi. Another Will went to the front. 200 metres to go. Komochi's a real threat. Another Will, and Nick in front. Komochi trying to pick him up. Another Will grabbed by Komochi. Komochi just in front. Komochi wins it. And Nick another Will, Stapati and Southport Tycoon, followed by Tuvalu. Next to finish in the race, Climbing Star, Bitter Creek, Charmstone, Buffalo River, and Jimmy Star had no luck. Was seeing backsides all the way up the straight. Behind those horses then was Run Harry Run, Gentleman Roy and Roll on High amongst the tail enders.
Craig Williams becomes the most successful jockey in the history of the Rupert Clarke. Willow's 7th victory in the race. He's had an incredible time of it in recent years, winning it in back-to-back years. Belly, a moment, and Rewire in 2005-06. Response and Turak Toff in 10 and 11. He won it with Stratum Star in 2015. Behemoth, the COVID edition in 2020. And now he gets it done on Komochi for Gary Portelli, who came out of the Empire Rose backing trip to the 1400 metres. She drew in on Derby Day. She drew out here a wide gate, and a gate that's been quite often victorious. These wide draws have had a bit of a record in the Rupert Clarke, and it's been the case again this afternoon. Another Will was gallant. It didn't quite go all to plan in transit for Jamie Carr on another Will, but he's been gallant. Gets himself a Group 1 placing. Stapati, Guinea's Prelude winner here, returns to the Caulfield 1400 and gets a Group 1 placing at 4. And Southport Tycoon look poised to emerge, just perhaps tied a little bit. Komochi, the 14th mare to win the Rupert Clarke for Craig Williams and Gary Portelli. It's an upset. It's been a day of upsets. 8, 4, 14 and 1, the numbers in the Sportsbet Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes.
Yeah, she had the right run on the day. I think dropping back to 1400 was a big plus for her, and we've seen her run well at 1600, namely 12 months ago on 1,000 guineas, but I think now it just stretches her back to 1400. She was at her brilliant best today, and she was just with her lightweight able to run over the top of another Will over the concluding stages, who was brave, and he just didn't get the smoothest run in transit, Brent Zarafa, did he? if things work out a little better, he might have made things very interesting.
Yeah, it did get a little tight approaching the home bend, but when the gap opened, he burst through and his run just come to an end compared to Amir and Komochi, who was lining up at Group 1, start number 8, and she gets that elusive feature win. Yulong made a significant purchase for her midway through her racing career, kept her with Gary Portelli, who hasn't been afraid to bring it down to Melbourne and try his hand in some big Group 1s, and he's able to get a very deserved victory for this mare who's been consistent at the elite grade for quite some time. Another will with Jamie Carr riding. It all sort of looked as though it was just going to be his race when he did get into the gap at the top of the straight, but Komochi, to her credit, was just too strong. Did have the 52.5 on her back. This 4-year-old mare by Brave Smash picks up the most valuable win of her career, and what a spring it has been for Yulong, with Via Sistina obviously flying the flag. They've made a significant investment across all aspects of racing here in Australia in the past couple of years, and now seeing the fruits of their labour. But Craig Williams, what a spring he's also had through the deeds of Bella Nipotina and managing to win an Everest. He's won a number of Group 1s here in Melbourne and picks up another result here this afternoon.
Yeah, he's had a terrific record in this race, as Nigel's touched on. And Gary Portelli, well, I think that might be his second win in the race, Nigel. He won it with Rebel Dane, and he's back again to take the cash.
That it is, Ben. 11 years after the success of Rebel Dane, Gary Portelli returns to win another Rupert Clarke, this time with the mare and Komochi. She got a Group 1 placing this day last year. Gary, how did it play out for her to go one better today?
Well, there's a bit of pressure on us. The Yulong have been on fire with their famous colours in the last few weeks, and I was able to win first up with her, and she's just had a couple of little flat spots since. Back to the 1400, no weight in the back, champion ride. Was a brilliant ride from barrier 13 to get one off. He was a long way back at one stage, but just a dream come true for us. We obviously need the bigger stables behind us, and it helps. And they've repaid their faith. They paid $2.2 million for the English sales, and we've been able to sort of win a Group 1 now, and she's worth probably 3 times that now.
Did you always have this up this sleeve coming via an Empire Rose?
It was always in the back of my mind. And when she raced so keenly over the mile last start, we just had no choice. We're going back to 1400, lightweight in the back. We didn't draw where we wanted to draw, but what a great ride. It made up the difference. What's
her future going to look like from here? Would you like to see her get a chance to once again have a crack at the championships and races like that, or does 1400 here perhaps unlock some things for the early part of the season to come?
Yeah, look, we'll just put her away now and regroup, and I think 1400 is obviously the distance we've got to stick to now. But she's good horse, fresh. She's unbeaten first up, so we'll find something first up and have a good crack at her first up.
Gary, you referenced the support of Yulong and how pivotal that is. That's 4 Group 1s now in Victoria for you, alongside 4 back in New South Wales. What's it all mean?
It's important, we're only a small stable, and most of our owners are just mums and dads that want to get involved in racing. We give them an experience they wouldn't get in some of the bigger stables, So for us to get a Group 1 gives them confidence that any horse that comes to our stable, we can get them to win at this level. Got a great team of people behind me that do the work at home. I want to thank them as well. They're the people that go behind the scenes that don't get thanked enough. So for the guys that are home, thanks very much. I'm just up here doing the speeches. You guys do all the hard work. So thanks very much to everyone at home, and again, we've got some nice horses coming through for the future, so racing's not over me just yet.
Gary, you've done an outstanding job, as your team has, and well done on enjoying a glittering list of trainers to win this race on multiple occasions.
Yeah, thanks very much. Thank you.
One of the good guys, he is Gary Portelli, and great to see him with a Group 1 victory here with Komochi, who, yes, was purchased for $2.2 million at an English broodmare sale, retained in his stable, with Yulong keen to add her to their broodmare band, and her value has now continued to be enhanced with that victory.
Sure has. Yeah, another result for Yulong, another result for the bookies with the heavily supported another will. It's been the story of the spring, getting run down by Komochi